So this is the 1/6 scale Hot Toys Star Wars The Clone Wars AHSOKA Tano. The very first AHSOKA Tano we've ever gotten for Hot Toys, and I'm very excited for this release. So much so that I'm going to review my first Hot Toy figure ever. I do own numerous amounts of Hot Toy figures, but I never review them just because it's just not my, um, you know, area of expertise when it comes to reviews. Plus, the bigger scale, it just complicates everything for my reviewing station. But nonetheless, this figure I think deserves a review. So I'm going to go ahead and talk about it. So here we have the front of the box, and nothing much going on these sides. And then the back side's pretty boring. Something I absolutely love about Hot Toys Star Wars figures is the insert image that they all come with. This time, Ahsoka comes with a very nice looking image, and it's an image of the actual figure posed up. So a little ACBA action going on here. I always love and look forward to seeing the inserts. So Hot Toys actually does something very similar to what Hasbro Star Wars The Black Series does with their animated series characters. When they bring them into action figure form, they give them a realistic makeover so that it can be displayed with your live action figures. So in this case, we have Ahsoka Tano from Season 7 of the animated series Star Wars The Clone Wars, but they produced the figure in a way where it looks realistic. This is what she would look like if she was in live action during Season 7, and I think they did a phenomenal job. The face sculpt is where it's at. If they ruined the face sculpt, they ruined the whole figure, and they really knocked it out the ballpark with the face sculpt. It's a perfect mixture of an animation design and a live action design. And although I would love to see a animated sculpt, I wouldn't want it any other way. It looks perfect. Now, of course, it would be nice to get an alternate head sculpt that was fully animated so we can pick and choose which way we would like to display her, but then I don't think it would match the body all too well. So here's an up close look at that face sculpt, and it is 100% there. I really love the face sculpt, and the eyes are painted or just designed perfectly. I don't know what they do here, but those eyes are movable. You can remove the face plate and adjust the eyes whichever way you want. I'm not gonna mess with it because I don't want it to look, weird or dumb during the review. But really, the paint job is second to none here. Of course, this is Hot Toys, so it's to be expected, but they really did a great job with Ahsoka here. Now, what's really cool is that her monstrals are bendable and adjustable. So they do have a bendy wire inside. It's pretty thick and pretty hard, but you can bend it around to whichever way you want to pose it. Not that you really need to so much, but it does help when you go and articulate the figure if you're getting her in an action pose. Even the big piece on the back is bendable. So that's a very nice touch. I didn't expect it, and I don't see any noticeable rubber holes. I guess there's one right there, but it is hidden on her back, so at least nothing breaks the design on the outer part there. You can kind of see two holes there on the inner part of those monstrals there. They did do a good job in hiding those holes. So her torso piece is of course soft goods. It's like a pleather-like material. Uh, I do fear that these silver lines could crack if you adjust or bend the torso a certain way. I don't know, it's just a guess of mine, but hopefully that's not the case. Her entire torso is a soft, like a TB League Fison body type material. It's a silicone material, I should say, and so all the arms, so that's why you get the seamless joints. Now, of course, that always brings in the fear of can this thing crack over time? And of course, it might not. We don't know. We just gotta wait it out, and hopefully it doesn't. But if you want to be on the safest side, you don't want to bend these arms. Going down to the skirt piece here, and then the forearms. Take a look at the detail on those forearms and on the side pieces there, on the back side as well. And you can see the material on the legs and down to the shin guards in her boots. So pretty simple design. It's very accurate to season 7, and overall, the look is all there. Now, it is worth mentioning her legs are hard plastic, not silicone at all, so you can bend the legs as you wish with no issues at all. And with that, we'll move into the articulation of the figure, and her head will move left and right. As you see, the montrals will get in the way, but again, these are adjustable, so if you have to, you can adjust it, bend it down, and you can get her in some decent poses, even with those big head tails or montrals as they're called. Torso does swivel and it does crunch forward and back. Now the arms do move, and this is where it gets a little scary, of course, because we have this silicone type material for the skin to make the seamless joint design. So I'm going to be very careful with mine. Not to say that it will get ruined, but I'm going to go very gentle here with the arms because it is a little scary, but you can move it all the way up. And this is possible because the silicone, or the arm, is a separate piece from the torso. It's not, the soft silicone material isn't connected to the torso. It's a separate piece. So this is why this is possible. Even though, I mean, that's great. That means it's not gonna rip or break as easy as it would have if it was all connected, similar to what Thanos was. Uh, it's, you still don't want to risk it. You want to be gentle with this type of material, especially when I move the arms out. It gets a little scary for me. I don't know. It seems like it's separating there a little bit. When I do the other one, this one seems like it's like it almost wants to kind of crack. I don't know if that's a crack or if that's just, since they gotta cut it when they put that hard plastic disc there. I don't know, but not really gonna risk it. The arms do move all the way out. That's the thing with these expensive hot toys. It's like you pay the money and it looks great and you want to play with it and pose it up, but then you can't. You got to be very fragile, or you got to be very careful because it's fragile, I should say. But nonetheless, this is one of the best arm designs for a seamless, um, you know, silicone body, or at least arms and torso, I should say, because the whole body isn't silicone. Now the arms, I'm not gonna bend all the way, but I have seen reviews that they do bend all the way. You can see it does start to crease, which doesn't look terrible because honestly, if you bend your arm right now, you're gonna see creases in your skin. So it almost looks realistic to me. I'm gonna go a little bit more, and that's about it. But it looks pretty natural, to be honest. It's not terrible. It's just not a pose I'm gonna leave it in for days and days and days because I want this thing to last. I don't want to end up buying another one. I have an idea of how I'm going to post it. It's going to be very simple, and it is what it is because it's definitely a piece I want to enjoy for many, many years without any issues. This is technically my first figure that has seamless elbows like that, so it's my first experience with it, and I want to be extra careful. Now the hands are on a traditional swivel hinge here, so pretty standard there. The legs will go forward. Now we do get the skirt piece here. I can go further more. Let's see. Yeah, it's not really getting hindered, so it's not too bad. It's pretty dynamic if you're going to leave her like this in the display. But it does kick all the way forward. Her legs will go all the way out here, you can see. About that far. And then as for the thighs, they do swivel. We do get ratcheted knee joints, and they are double jointed, and these are not, of course, silicone or seamless. It's all hidden underneath the cloth, so it doesn't have to be. So you can bend the legs as you wish, no problem. Go back, and then the angles will go forward and back. They do rock side to side, and they do swivel. So overall, it's all good there in terms of articulation. So we have the base plate here with the nameplate AHSOKA Tano, Star Wars there for you museum posers out there that like to have it pose with the base. I don't pose it with the base just because it takes up too much space in the D-top, so I always keep these in the box, but there are plenty of collectors out there that display it with it. But I'm just going to keep this wrapped in plastic, leave it in the box, and maybe one day I'll use it, maybe not, I don't know. So now we'll proceed to her accessories. We'll start off with the holograms that she comes with. We have Anakin Skywalker as number 1, and then we have Obi-Wan Kenobi, and then lastly we get Master Yoda. And these will all connect to her little hologram device. They all have pegs, so you just peg it into the bottom, be extra careful because it seems like it's a little flimsy at the bottom of the the character, and it actually, man, doesn't want to go in. So for whatever reason, Anakin didn't want to go in, but here is Obi-Wan, and he is standing, or he's pegged into the device just fine. And then let's check out Master Yoda. And then with a little bit of twisting and pushing, he goes in as well. Overall, these things are kind of tough to put in here for whatever reason, and I don't want to force Anakin because he's got this little base here that is pretty pliable, and that might break. I don't know. The legs are very soft there, and it doesn't want to go in easy, so that's a little bit of an issue. But for me, I'm not going to display her with these, so I'm good on that part. But it's still kind of a bummer that they don't really fit in too well. Next, she comes with a thermal detonator, which is cool. Then we have the tool you use to adjust her eyeballs. And up next we have one of her lightsabers, so this is the longer version. Here you can see the hilt in all its glory, painted very nicely and detailed very nicely with the blade. Of course, this can remove and you can just have the hilt in her hands or holstered if you wish. And then here is the smaller version. So you got the dual wielding lightsabers that Anakin gave her in Season 7. Then what's also cool is we get these swinging effects for the blades. So if you wish to have her swing in her blades, you can have these effects attached to those hilts. And here you can see the open hands that she comes packed in with. And you can choose to swap those out for these grabbing hands, which are meant for her lightsabers. Then we get a right open hand that is to grab the thermal detonator. And the left hand here has the peace symbol, so she can say peace to Anakin, which is a joke. This is kind of like a little Jedi pose, I would assume, similar to Obi-Wan. And then she gets one right fist, so you don't get two fists, but you get one right fist. And then last but not least, she does have a hooded cloak, so this is very dope. It's got some bendy wire to it, so we'll check her out with it. So here is a look at her with the hooded, soft good robe piece that she comes with, and it takes some playing around with, but once you get it right, it looks good. But it does take some time. Right now I feel pretty good about the way it looks, but I did have a hard time covering her forehead entirely with the hood. You just gotta keep playing around with it. But it definitely is a nice added touch to have this accessory included. Whether or not I'm going to display her like this, probably not, even though it looks so damn good with it on. It's just one of those tough decisions you gotta make in regard to the way you're gonna pose the figure. Maybe change it up one year, have it like this, the next year have it another way. But honestly, this looks fantastic. And of course, I have it set up to where it's kind of waving in the wind. It's got a very thin, bendy wire to the edges of it, which gives it that, of course, feature of being able to pose it as if it's blowing in the wind. So, very cool. There it is on the back side. It's not dirty. It's like, freshly clean robe, but it looks very, very well done. So this is definitely an option if you want to recreate the scene at the end of Season 7 when she's looking at all the helmets on these spikes and she's wearing this robe right here. And here's a quick look at her with her lightsabers in hand. So I'm slowly but surely getting a little bit more comfortable and posing her up and having some fun. Just trying to recreate some of the poses from the promo shots that Hot Toys released. Now when it comes to the swooshing effect lightsaber blades, they do add some weight, and the much bigger swooshing effect, which is the one in her right hand behind her back, is quite heavy, and her wrist just doesn't have the strength to hold it up. So right now it is still being held up, but it is drooping down. It should be a lot higher according to the advertisement images of the figure. So I really cannot recreate this pose exactly the way they have it, because at least on my figure, the wrist just doesn't hold the weight. And here she is next to Captain Rex. This is the Hot Toys version, and you can see she does stand shorter as she should. And I think this looks pretty good in my opinion. Scale wise, maybe she should be a tad bit shorter, but it's nothing crazy. I think it still looks pretty good. These two figures are pretty much companion pieces to each other, as they are meant to be displayed together, considering they are both from the same specific scene of Season 7. And if you grab yourself some 501st Troopers, you can expand that scene furthermore in your display. And here are those three 30-second / 501st troopers. So there you have it, guys. That is my review of the Hot Toys 1/6 scale AHSOKA Tano from Star Wars The Clone Wars Season 7 to be more specific. I highly doubt we'll get a snips from Season 1, 2, and 3 and, those earlier seasons of the Clone Wars to get a younger AHSOKA Tano, but never say never, you never know what could happen. But definitely would be cool to get that. I'm just happy we have an AHSOKA Tano in general based off of the animated series The Clone Wars. I really hope Hot Toys continues on with The Clone Wars. They do have 2 more pre-orders up. We have Jesse and we have Commander Vaughn, I believe. So 2 more troopers are coming, and hopefully we get some more. We do have Anakin Skywalker also coming soon. That's also from the Clone Wars, and hopefully we'll get an Obi-Wan as well. Pretty much I'm a sucker for Clone Wars, so if they keep pumping out Clone Wars, I will keep getting it. As always, everyone, hit that like button, let me know your thoughts down below, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. As always, take care, take it easy, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.